What she needs to do now is she needs to get off the horse and she needs to go and give a pep talk to every single rider that's left to go out on course and tell them to make sure they finish ahead of Chris Burton, so that he doesn't get too many points more than she does this week. She'll actually probably be hoping that this man, Tim Price, can come in, and if she can just keep Astia Nicola between her and Chris Burton for the rest of the competition, she won't lose too much ground on him.
Well, Tim Price, Ascona M, coming to the Combine Harvester Ware Green for John T. Fence at 13. And they're actually looking down on the clock at the moment as well. They can be 2 seconds over the time to go ahead of Chris Burton and Polystar. We'll get a clock check for them as they jump into the St James's Place water. 33.8 in 7th position after the first 2 phases. They were second on the podium at Blenheim in the series finale last year, just living a little dangerously. And
I was going to say, even before that Fence, I'm just coming to the conclusion that this horse is just a little bit odd. I don't know what she does. She jumped really high over the other pond fence. Saw her in the show jumping this morning, and I actually saw Tim after. So she looks like quite a tricky ride, and he's like, yeah, mate, I just do what I can and go in there and just try and work with it.
To be fair, though, she is very, very talented, because she got herself out of a fairly sticky situation there and certainly made sure that there wasn't a whoopsie. So Tim Price, Ascona M, out on course as here comes Tina Cook, Billy the Red, the combination who finished 4th at the European Championships in Stragom last year. Helped Team GB to a team gold medal on that occasion, and looking to catch the eye of the selectors ahead of the World Equestrian Games in Tryon a little bit later on this year. They've had a fairly difficult spring campaign. Tina had a fall from this horse across country at Burnham Market in a National Advance section at the beginning of April, and actually that put her on the sidelines a little bit. But she's certainly one that could put her foot down on the accelerator in the cross country.
Yeah, interesting to see the tactics with Billy the Red today, and huge result at the European Championships last year for that horse and Tina, and probably one of the most stylish clears that we saw this morning in the show jumping arena. But we're back with Tim Price. He's another man who can make the time look easy. He's sat there with his hands nice and quiet on the neck of his gun. He's not going to make the time today. It's just all a question about how far away he's going to be.
Well, he's at the ready sup owl hole and clear through there. So he's 33 seconds down on the clock, 33.8 his 2-phase score, as Tina Cook swings back left-handed to the sunken road at 9A and B. And this has certainly caught out 1 or 2 today, but Tina showing all of her class through there. Well, there is Laura Collett in 3rd place on the podium, embracing Chris Burton, who sits in the top spot. Astia Nicola currently sitting in 2nd. It is Australia, France, Great Britain. Tim Price, Ascona M, can he make it on the podium? I'm not sure he's going to be quick enough, because he's swinging right-handed to the key flow owl hole into the water. And gets it very nicely. Has given this mare a really super ride across the country, but the time penalties are clocking up now. He clears the last and goes on through the finish. He's going to secure himself a top 10 finish, 48.2 his total score, 14.4 time penalties for Tim. Well, Tina Cook and Billy the Red heading on down the hill to the SAP turning corners. And let's go and hear from Laura Collett, currently sitting in 3rd on the podium. Can she stay there, Hannah?
Well, we shall see. Laura, De Capo, you guys are on fire. She's such a young horse.
Yeah, he's really young and really inexperienced, so I'm so proud of him. I just have to, where he's inexperienced, I just have to set him up a little bit much. But, to come here in this field and produce what he's produced is really exciting for the future.
And such valuable series leaderboard points, which is what you need, because you're at the top and we want you to stay there.
Yeah, but this guy's really fast, so I might as well hand it over now.
So we need someone out on course to go faster than Berto then?
Yeah, preferably quite a few of them, the rest of the field to go faster than him.
Well done to both you and De Capo. Awesome performance this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Okay. don't think we can underestimate just how easy Chris Burton made that time look, because Tina Cook 14 seconds down on the clock with Billy the Red at the St James's Place Water, and this is a combination that are pretty quick across the country.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's getting hard to quit. You just have to keep watching Berto, and like his riding does the talking, because it's a skill that he has, and it comes back to probably his training system, but it's just a huge talent that he can do that. 9 seconds. I mean, he was 35 seconds faster than Laura Collett, because he was 9 seconds inside the time.
Well, Nicola Wilson, one too many. ECRA ratings told us they've won more 3 stars at this level than any other combination in the field. That's at 6, so twice as many as their closest competition. And Nicola out on course on a score of 30.4. But Tina Cook, Billy the Red, can actually be 6 seconds over the time to go ahead of Chris Burton and Polystar. She's still motoring, Billy the Red looking full of running, but I'm not sure she's quite quick enough.
No, she's doing a little bit of a job like we saw sort of Frances Whittington doing first out the blocks, in that she's running this horse, you know, quick enough, but not pushing out of the comfort zone at all. Oh, she's having a little disagreement here. So again, she identified that she wanted to just let that fence come to her rather than going and chasing a stride. And she's just letting him almost dictate the pace, and she's actually hanging on to him a little bit.
Well, Billy the Red, 40 seconds left on the clock, a moment to go, with Tina Cook for owner Elizabeth Murdoch and Keith Tyson.
And that shows you all the experience from Tina. Yeah, she's, as Sam's just mentioned to us, she got all the selectors are here today. I think she just wants to get back on form to show that she's out there and she can prove that the horse is back on form, and she's just on form herself as well. She's done a fantastic run. I think she will be thrilled with the run so far.
Well, she's in the main arena. Tina Cook, Billy the Red, how close can she go to the podium?
Well, I think she could end up going in between Chris Burton and Laura Collett, which will not do Laura any favours for the series.
I think she could even sneak ahead, possibly, of Astier Nicolas. She's just got the last to go. But Tina Cook, Billy the Red, but the penalties are clocking up as she comes to the last, but she is going to go on the podium, and she is going to sneak into second place, just 1 second close enough to go into second at the moment. But of course, that'll be at worst a 7th place finish, because we've still got 5 combinations still to complete. The first of them will be Nicola Wilson, one too many, and she's taken a very economical line.
She went just a little bit close to that second table there, but she is motoring, and I think it's probably one of the ones on paper and on form that she actually can get up there near to Burton's time and be like closer to the time. She's definitely not wasting any time. Let's see if she can do this line to the corners and put the 4 strides between those 2 corners now.
One too many has made the time on 4 occasions already at CIC3, so does that easily. And he's actually got a 100% clear cross-country jumping record at CIC3 starts. 19 cross-country clears. If he can jump clear around Barbury, it will be number 20. 20 out of 20, the perfect 20 at jumping clear around CIC3 starts. So go on, one too many.
Well, that would be quite some record. And actually, the difference between the competitors coming forward now and Chris Burton mean that they're going to start having a little bit of time to play with. Nicola Wilson actually has 10 seconds that she can play with to go ahead of Chris Burton, and she is 10 seconds exactly down on the clock at the St James's Place Water.
Yeah, well, don't be deceived. They'll need every one of them. Chris Burton, 9 seconds inside the time. It will be hard work for any other rider to get within 9 seconds of the time. That's how good that man is.
Well, Flora Harris and Bayano out on course, 29.1, put in a superb clear round in the show jumping to bring their dressage score forwards. We'll go back to Flora very shortly. She's in 4th overnight, but Nicola Wilson heading out to the JCB steeplechase turn at 18 A and B.
Well, let's not forget Nicola Wilson's a previous winner of Barbury as well, but Flora Harris and Bayano, they have previous Barbury form too. They made the time here in 2016. If they could repeat that, now it was a lot easier 2 years ago than it is here today, but they're meaning business. You can tell from the body language that Bayano is being put to work today.
Well, in 4th place after the first 2 phases at the SAP Brush with Technology. Bayano just coming down the hill to the second element, takes it very nicely. That's jumped well so far today, and chance for her to really open up on the accelerator as Nicola Wilson won too many. Sam, you mentioned Nicola has won here previously. Am I right in thinking that she was actually the first person ever to make the time here?
She was indeed, Nicole. Yeah, that was back in 2009 with Opposition Buzz.
Who was the second?
No, you're not. I'm
Sam
not
Watson.
For it.
There we go.
Yeah, 2009 was a good year for Opposition Buzz, Nereo, and an Irish horse called Horseware Bushman, ridden by some fella.
Well, Nicola Wilson at the ready up owl hole. Clear through there. She's 21 seconds down on the clock. She has got 10 seconds in hand to go ahead of Chris Burton. That means she can be 10 seconds over the time, so I think she's not going to do it. But Flora Harris beautifully clear of the Bowler Oakfield Sunken Road.
And this is why the mere mortals also get a little bit tired as well. You know, when Chris Burton came around that turn, he was almost ambling around the turn. He was the horse wasn't being asked to accelerate or stay on the job.
Well, Nicola Wilson is at the end of her round. She's 2 fences left to go. The penalties are clocking up because she's over the time. And actually, she can't challenge Chris Burton, but can she get on the podium? She'll certainly need to clear the last. She does so, kicks on through the finish. She is going to go into 2nd place. She'll go 3rd behind Tina Cook by courtesy of being closer to the optimum time.
Just shows you, like Nicola, she's one of the fastest ladies out there today, and she was 24 seconds over the time. And it shows you how quick our friend Burton went out there and just made it look so easy, and 9 seconds inside the time. So it's an amazing achievement.
We're going to have to call him Blazing Burton. Over the table, long distance down here to the first corner. Try and pick up, I'd say this could be 5 now. She's a little bouncy horse. Yeah, there we go. Just make sure of it. You've got to jump those fences first and then think about the speed after, but she's quick away after the fence. And still ears prick, turning now. They can't see that fence, they can see it about now. Blind turn really with that combine in the way. Laura pitches forward a little bit on landing. You don't want to pitch forward coming to this next fence.
It's a very blind turn, that one to the house, because you see when Christopher came around and Team Price, they didn't have the best shot there because they were cutting the lines, trying to get that, save time. And when you're trying to save time, you increase the risk, and you probably end up having a difficult fence, even when the fence was simple.
Well, Flora Harris only 6 seconds down on the clock at the St James's Place Water. But that podium is changing all the time now. The one person who hasn't yet had to move is Chris Burton. Hannah, how long can he stay there?
Well, that remains to be seen. But Tina Cook, that was fabulous. You must be delighted.
I'm really pleased. I feel like I've missed the first half of the season through having an injury, of dislocating and breaking my shoulder. It's been really frustrating to miss badminton. I had 3 super horses ready to go, and the old cripple, I couldn't ride them. So it's been a slow process, but it's fabulous being back here and getting the rush of charging around the Barbury estate.
You said to me at the beginning of the weekend you wanted a good, solid return performance, and you have had way more than that, Tina.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with Billy the Red. He's only an 11-year-old. He's still very young, and he well placed at badminton last year in European Championship. So he did a lot as a 10-year-old. And then this year it's been my fault, not his. So he's going to Aachen in a couple of weeks' time, and that's a fabulous event as well. So onwards and upwards, here we go.
We're delighted to have you back, Tina. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tina Cook, will she be taking her first ever Event Rider Masters podium this weekend? Well, we're going to have to keep watching to find out, because we are into the final few. Flora Harris Bayano in 4th after the first 2 phases, 29.1. They can go 14 seconds over the time and knock Chris Burton off the top spot. They are slower than Chris Burton was at this point, but he was exceptionally quick. So it is going to be all to play for Flora in the main arena.
Bayano's average time penalties at CIC 3-star are 6.5. That is very close. If they can get inside that, they're going to be close to challenging Chris Burton.
Well, Liz Halliday-Sharp, we've had one American rider on the podium. That was Lachlan Glenn and Clark Montgomery back at Bramham 2016. Can Liz be the second? Well, she is on course, but Flora Harris in the main arena. The clock is ticking down. Those time penalties are going to start to add up very shortly. The clock can go 14 seconds over, and she will go ahead of Chris Burton. I'm not sure she's going to be quick enough, but she could well get herself a podium finish here. She comes round to the final fence. Flora Harris and Bayano. Chris Burton stays in the top spot. He's on course for a podium finish, but Flora Harris is going to go into second. That is a superb performance from her. 37.5. Flora Harris goes second. Chris Burton will be no worse than fourth.
Let's see how she will. Beautifully done. I think Liz probably will end up going fast now because she knows she can get on that podium. And she have a good record over here, Liz. I mean, she was disappointed with her fence down early on in the show jumping, but she decided to keep this horse for this series, and she's done well. She's done well in Arville. So it's just kind of trying to get the points and hopefully be in the finals with a good shot to be in the top 5 at the end of the season.
Yeah, interesting thing about Fernal by Night is the first thing they got to do is jump all the fences, because at CIC 3-stars over the last 10 years, they've had 20 runs cross country and only 10 jumping clear, so 50 record in terms of jumping clear. They've not made the time yet. They actually average 11 time penalties on the cross country, so they've got work to do out here if they're to go and finish on that podium.
Well, that is your podium at the moment. Chris Burton out on top. Flora Harris in second. Nicola Wilson, she's going to go onto the podium for a few moments' time. She'll soon be knocked off as Flora Harris comes from the finish. Tina Cook will then move down into third. But Liz Halliday-Sharp and Fernhill by Night, 28.9 their score. And actually Liz can be 14 seconds over the time and go ahead of Chris Burton. So the same margin of error that Flora had. Flora couldn't do it. Can Liz? Clear of the Devaku Stonehenge.
She will need to work hard, Nicole. Yeah, it looks like I don't think she will get into that margin, but she needs to keep pushing.
Well, Gemma Tattersall and Pomero 4 for owner Clive Smith. They were 7th here 12 months ago. This horse played a vital part in Gemma's 2017 series domination. Finished 4th at Blair Castle for her as well in the penultimate leg in 2017. And he is pushing on up the hill to the SAP, a brush with technology at 5A and B. The first real question.
Well, it's interesting what we've seen in a few of the more recent horses that have been out on course. Yes, we've seen some of the top riders. We've seen a lot of horses who are really designed for the dressage and jumping phases out on cross country over the last sort of 10 minutes. And that's part of why they're not getting close to Chris Burton in terms of the clock. We saw them perform really, really well in the dressage phase. Speed potentially not their forte, but we're about to see Pomero 4 and Gemma Tattersall, and I think they can be quite quick today.
Well, let's just take stock of the situation for a moment, because Liz Halliday-Sharp in third place after the first 2 phases is heading towards home. 28.9 her score. She's 40 seconds left on the clock. Chris Burton, our current clubhouse leader, on 34.8. So she's 19 seconds down on the clock at the final time check. And she actually only has 14 seconds that she can be over and go ahead of Chris Burton. So we're going to watch her finish very carefully. But Gemma Tattersall turns back to the sunken road. Pops the first element neatly. And straight as a die, clear of the second element as well. Pushes on up the hill. Liz Halliday-Sharp in the main arena. The clock is ticking down. It's going to turn red in just a second. The penalties will add up very quickly. Chris Burton on top of the podium. Flora Harris currently just going into second at the moment. 37.5 her score. And Liz Halliday-Sharp isn't going to be able to go ahead of Chris Burton. But can she go on the podium? If she clears the last, she will be. And she does. So she goes on through the finish. She's going to go behind Flora Harris. So Liz Halliday-Sharp goes into third. Tina Cook goes off the podium into fourth. Chris Burton guarantees himself a podium finish here at Barbury.
And it's interesting that he's come from 11th position as well, Chris Burton. 11th position after dressage. He still had a rail down in the show jumping. That didn't go according to plan. But I think a lot of riders are going to be watching this, the top riders, and thinking that if they want to win prize money, they've got to remember that this is a sport that's really about cross country, and they've got to get horses that are designed for this phase and designed to tackle these hills and keep up a rhythm, because the time is just so important. These horses have to be able to gallop and jump out of a rhythm.
It just shows you, like, which is unfortunately Marshall George had the 50 penalties early on in the course, but he was only 1 second over the time. He probably could be inside the time as well, but we're talking about only 2 riders inside the time.
Well, Gemma Tattersall is the second fastest that we've seen to this point, I think, behind Chris Burton. She's coming to the St James's Place Water, and she's 2 seconds down on the clock, so she is up on the clock at this stage. And Palmiro Fort gallops away up the hill to the Devereux Stonehenge, the last of the real hills for our horses to climb before they head back down towards the JCB angled brushes.
Yeah, so Chris Burton giving her almost a 7.
Oh, that was a long one.
You saw a stride there, and that has worked out at Stonehenge, and that saved her a couple of seconds as well.
And Gemma is joined out on course by our leaders after the first 2 phases. Thomas Carlyle and Upsilon. They took the title here at Barbury 12 months ago. Will it be redemption day for this stunning grey stallion? Things did not go to plan in either of the jumping phases in Arville, so the first thing on Tom's mind is a clear round in the cross country. 24.9 their starting score, but they were very classy in the cross country phase last year, and actually Tom set out pretty quickly.
He's setting out quick here. Upsilon's going to have to be on his game today. He's going to have to jump his clear round in the cross country. He didn't manage it in Arville, and it's going to be a big test for him today, but he's got himself a lead. I think Gemma Tattersall, from the looks of the round we've seen, I think she's going to be the one that's going to give him the target score. Lovely, good balance down the hill, and that, at least Upsilon took the fence on. He was a little bit far off it. He was thinking about it, but he wanted to jump it today.
And you can really see Tom very quick to just encourage Upsilon, tell him he did the right thing, give him a pat, and just fill him with confidence on this long run along the bottom of the Barbury Bowl. Gemma Tattersall through the owl hole. She's 50 seconds left on the clock, and she is kicking towards home. 27.2 her score, as Thomas Carlyle, Upsilon at the Noble Outfitters ditch and brush.
He is coming to, for me, the fence that is going to make or break this redemption day for him. This should be okay. It's an open, parallel turn to the corner, but it's the fence after. Yeah, he's jumped that. He likes that. It's this little triple brush skinny here.
This is the big question for him now, that's for sure.
Gemma Tattersall, Palmiro Fort, she is on target to take over on the top spot because she's got a few seconds in hand. The clock can go 18 seconds over for her to go ahead of Chris Burton. She comes down the hill to the final fence. She's not going to make the time, but she is going to be our new leader. Gemma Tattersall clears the last 1.6 time, 28.8. She will be second or better. So, Thomas Carlyle, Upsilon, just a little bit tight into the second element of the Vardag's Quarry.
He's such a neat jumper, this horse. Sometimes he doesn't want to touch any of the fences, which makes his life sometimes difficult when he jumps the brush fences. He spends so much time up in the air that sometimes puts Tom out of the line and makes his life difficult. I think it's great to have a good jumper, but sometimes when he jumps too much high up in the air, it takes you out of the line and complicates to get your perfect line.
He should be another one to go through here on 4 strides. Look at that lovely shot. That's Barbury. The Barbury Bowl. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go. I think there's one more fence that has a bit of a question mark, and it is that owl hole, the turn to the corner. They've got to obviously jump all the fences, and it doesn't really let up here at Barbury. Turns across the camber here. Up and down through the Barbury Bowl here into the water. That's really nice, really good efficient as well. Upsilon reading the fences. got a fabulous stride and gallop. Tom, sit up.
Well, Tom is spot on his minute marker at the St James's Place Water. He is exactly where he needed to be there. And actually, he can stop the clock 9 seconds over the time and take the win here, defend his title here at Barbury. He had a bit of time in hand last year. He used it here, set a record Event Rider Masters finishing score. He's clear of the Devaku Stonehenge.
He's not wasting any time, isn't it, Nicole? Sam, he's just moving quick out of the fences, and I think it can be achievable. He can get closer to the time.
He can get close to the time. I think he's got a few nice fences coming up here, and he's over one of them now. There's just this is a nicer part of the course where just the intensity relents a little bit. They've still got to turn a little bit and keep one eye on the clock, not let any time drift away. But then he's going to make his way down to the owl hole to corner it, court Andrew Nicholson out. And it could just be the type of fence that has Upsilon thinking a little bit. He can sometimes over jump, but he's been through that owl hole before. He's been to Barbury before. He was our winner last year of the Event Rider Masters in 2017. He looks set to be the winner again in 2018. It could be a glorious Barbury double for the Frenchman.
It would be fantastic for him to be back here again and retain his title. And let's see how he can cope with this last combination, Sam.
This is the moment.
This is a huge moment in leg 4 of the series. The Ready Sup Owl Hole, Thomas Carlyle and Upsilon. He's clear through there. He's 5 seconds down on the clock. That would be okay. He's just got to get home jumping clear and not let up on that accelerator. The Barbury crowds, he wowed them 12 months ago. Is he about to take his third Event Rider Masters leg title?
We close, Nicole.
He is in the main arena. The clock is still green. He can let the clock run 9 seconds over and still take the leg here at Barbury. Thomas Carlyle and Upsilon swinging right-handed to the key flow water splash. Pop into it very nicely. He's just got to clear the last. He's going to be flirting with that optimum time. That doesn't matter. If he clears it, he wins. He does. Redemption day for Thomas Carlyle and Upsilon. 25.3. They won here 12 months ago. They've repeated that feat today. And that is brilliant to see this combination back on form.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah.
He loves Barbury, Thomas Carlyle. We love Upsilon. And Nicole Brown here beside us. I mean, it has been magic. He had to work. I mean, it's great to see the top guys as well. You know, he had to really think about what he was going to do, think about his tactics. He said he spent the last 2 weeks really practicing this cross-country phase with Upsilon. I think that paid off for him quite early on in the course, coming downhill to that triple brush skinny, and they just weren't in the perfect position, and Upsilon said, yeah, today I'm with you. I've
got your back. And can we just take a moment to reflect on how special it is coming back from our Veal 2 weeks ago, where both the show jumping and the cross country didn't go to plan.
And you can see how much it means only not for Tom Carlyle and his team, from like Thierry Touzan, the French chef, that keep like jumping in his place, so happy. So it is a team effort. I think the French, they do get together when you need to sort out some problems. It's amazing, and it's us riders, we know when we do have problems and we want to get back there and perform, and he proved us he can do it, and it's great for them.
Well, Thomas Carlyle has become the first person ever to win 3 Event Rider Masters legs, and he has done it on the same horse. That is a huge achievement in itself. He's hot-footing it down to the podium, but the final scoreboard here at Barbury has been quite spectacular. There has been so much movement in all 3 phases. Thomas Carlyle, though, he has remained steady at the top of the leaderboard. Upsilon, our joint dressage leader, just adds 0.4 of a time penalty to his total score, 25.3. Gemma Tattersall, a superb result with Pomero 4, 27.2, just 4 seconds over the time. They finish in second, and a brilliant podium finish for Gemma. Chris Burton, huge series points for Polystar, 34.8, and he can at least take solace from the fact that his pole down show jumping didn't cost him any of those points to add. Great to see Flora Harris, her best ever Event Rider Masters, finish in 4th, and Liz Halliday Sharp in 5th. Tina Cook, Billy the Red, equal score with Nicola Wilson, one too many. Tina taking the higher placing courtesy of a faster time in the cross country. Laura Collett and Tim Price also picking up good series points here this weekend. And they will no doubt be on the series podium challenge a little bit later on. All three of those contenders heading to leg 5 in Jardy just next weekend. A fantastic Event Rider Masters debut for Toby Piggott. He'll be delighted with 11th on Golden Forever for owner Carol Jackson-Bell. And plenty to like for Matt Heath's Sportsfield Lord Livesey as well. That a horse, a 9-year-old, one to keep an eye on for the future. Marcio George, Coronel MCJ, the drama of them missing a flag out on the cross country. That gave them 50 jumping penalties to add to their score, and a real shame that took them out of top 10 contention. Ludwig Svenestall actually deciding to call it a day with Stinger when at an early part of their round. And they will no doubt be seen out and about a little bit later on in the series. But it has been an incredible 3 phases here at Barbury. We hope you have enjoyed all of the action, because it has certainly shaken up the series leaderboard as well. Chris Burton, well, he takes over the top spot from Laura Collett, and she actually does very well to pick up good points with an inexperienced 9-year-old in second. Gemma Tattersall moves up into a series contention, heading to Jardy next weekend, and Tim Price hot on her heels with that good 10th place finish with a Skona M. 53 points on the board for him. So that is how the series looks after 4 legs, and Chris Burton will be one of the hot favourites to take the series title. He also heads to Jardy in France next week for leg 5 in the Event Rider Masters series. But the Barbury crowds have absolutely loved all of the action here. We've loved all of the action here. In the studio with me, Sam Watson and Hoy Fonseca. Sam, it had all of the ingredients to deliver, and deliver it duly did.
Yeah, it really did, and we always said that if Upsilon could, he really only has himself to beat that horse. He's so talented, and you know, huge respect to the Carlisle team for getting him back on track, and for the fans at Barbury who were here last year, who got to see this magnificent stallion in action, to see him come back and defend his title. Fantastic.
Well, he was on the podium 12 months ago. Thomas Carlisle is preparing to get back on the podium in 2018. Hannah, Barbury has given us everything we could have asked for and more.
It really has, Nicole. What a weekend. The weather has come and triumphed. The crowds have come out in their thousands. The spectators, the judges, the volunteers, you name it. Everybody has rallied and put on the most superb weekend of competition. But of course, we couldn't do it without the riders and without their wonderful horses. So here we go. Chris Burton, you had a super win in Arville. Another great podium. You're the fastest man in the world, and you proved that today.
Yeah, it's a privilege to be on a horse like that. Everyone keeps saying I'm a fast rider, but really he's an amazing animal, and that's part of the job.
What can we expect from you now? You've got some awesome series leaderboard points that's going to push you right up the rankings. What can we expect?
Yeah, we're thinking about it. Don't worry, it's on our mind. So we're off to Jardy next week. We'll see how we get on.
And this course has really sorted out the men from the boys, the women from the men, those that made it, those that didn't, and certainly those that made the time, like you. I mean, you know, what is it that makes you the speed machine?
No, I have no idea. They keep calling me this, but I think I've been lucky to sit on some incredible animals in my life. So thanks again to Tricia Rickard for the ride on Polystar.
Okay, well, congratulations, Chris. 3rd place for Chris Burton. Gemma Tattersall into 2nd. You are back on the podium.
At last, yeah. It's taken me a little while, but we're back here, so that's really good. I just want to say thank you to Pomero he was awesome today. For owner Clive Smith, he was super special. I'm really proud of the horse.
You've not had the easiest start to the season, injury, lack of horses, but here you are, smiling, clear round in the show jumping, perfect test, and a cracking cross country.
Yeah, it's great to be back here, and like you say, that's the sport, it's eventing, and we have had a few injuries this year, but we're back here, and it's a beautiful day, and we love Barbury, so it's super good.
Happy days. Congratulations, Gemma Tattersall, into 2nd place. But of course, there is a man who is taking that top spot. He is here, defending his title. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Carlisle. Thomas, wow. There are a lot of fans, not just for you, but for Upsilon as well, around the world. Lots of fans for you, don't panic. That was flawless.
Yeah, no, I rode him well, didn't I? I thought, fuck, I must be looking good at this. Spot on, I was good. He really delivered today. I was really happy. I mean, he loves Barbury, I do too. Only 3 wins left and I can equal the legend.
I'm very sorry for Thomas's language. He's obviously very excited. But Tom, I mean, Upsilon is a staggering horse. You love him to pieces. You're his biggest fan. Didn't have such a great Arville, but here you are back on top of the podium like last year. What's next?
The champagne, I think. We'll see. No, he did lose a bit of confidence at the Europeans last year, and he showed it again 2 weeks ago. I think he just needs a couple more runs like today. Just get his mind focused again, and then we'll see.
Well, congratulations, Tom. Very, very big congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Carlisle, our winner. And now welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the St James's Place Barbury Horse Trials for leg 4 of the Event Rider Masters prize giving. Please welcome Lisa Stone, chairman of ERM, to now present our 3rd place finisher. Receiving prize money of £8,000, riding Polystar, owned by Trish Rickard, representing Australia, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Burton. And now please welcome Chris Woodhouse, owner of Barbury Estate, to now present our 2nd place finisher. Receiving prize money of £12,000, riding Pomero 4, owned by Clive Smith, representing Great Britain, ridden by a very happy Gemma Tattersall. And finally, please welcome Ian Rayner, COO of St James's Place, to now present the winner of the Event Rider Masters Leg 4 here at St James's Place Barbury Horse Trials. Receiving prize money of £16,000, riding Upsilon, owned by the Upsilon Syndicate, representing France, ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Thomas Carlisle. The owner of Upsilon is also presented with the Event Horse Owners Association trophy and also 2-night stay in the Monarch Hotel in Ireland, compliments of the Monarch Elite Event Horse Sales.
Well, Thomas Carlisle back on top of the podium here this weekend. The first person ever to win 3 Event Rider Masters legs. He does it on the same horse. That is a huge, huge achievement, not to be underestimated. And hot on his heels, Gemma Tattersall, the 2017 series champion. Chris Burton now becomes the series title hot favourite. And we'll be looking forward to seeing how the rest of the series pans out, because it heads to France next weekend on what could be a huge day potentially for England and France, with a World Cup final possibly lining up. We'll be in Jardy next weekend for leg 5 of the 2018 Event Rider Masters series, and if it's anything as good as all of the 3 phases here at Barbury, we are in for a real treat. Join us next weekend in Jardy as leg 5 of the 2018 Event Rider Masters series continues. Here though, it is redemption day for Upsilon and Thomas Carlisle.